Hey, Michael from Man Warrior Yoga. Today I'm going to bring you some 7 poses to improve your sex life. You may have heard that yoga is quite good for the sex life. I can't lie, it is. I'll show you 7 poses, I'll work through them and revitalize that libido again. You've heard the old adage about the jelly bean jar. So for every time you have sex before you get married, you put a jelly bean in the jar. And then every time you have sex after you get married, you take a jelly bean out. The theory is you never empty the jar. Guess what? We're going to empty that jar. I'm going to empty it today using our 7 poses, and then you can get back to where you were. So come on down onto the mat. And what we're primarily trying to do is really increase the blood flow. Increase the blood flow through your mid-region. Blood flow carries oxygen, increased energy. Increased stamina. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Come down onto the mat, sitting down onto the mat today. I'm going to take the soles of the feet together. About in line with the knees. The heels in line with the knees. Now, possibly this isn't particularly comfortable. You may sit on a pillow or a block, something to lift the hips a little bit higher. But otherwise, we're taking the hands to the toes, keeping a straight back, using the elbows just a little bit to press open the thighs. Let the thighs fall open as we obviously opening through the groin, opening through the inner thigh, the adductor region. And possibly even if you're able to move a little bit further, you can bring the hands forward, knees in front, and soften through the back and extend long through the crown of the head. Once again, just get deep inside those quads. And generally we're going to move with the breath. So on inhale, lengthen the spine, lengthen the crown of the head. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. Inhale and exhale. Now we want to keep the back relatively flat, keep the shoulders back in their socket, and fold rather than collapse. So you can feel the groin and the inner thigh beginning to open and release. Stay here for about 5 to 8 breaths. And we're slowly going to let go. Take the legs long. Give them a little bit of a shake. Taking the fleshy part from underneath the sitting bones. We're going to sit down onto the sitting bones and see if we can lift out of the spine. So almost lift the vertebrae out of the hips, sitting tall. We want to extend long, taking the forehead down to the big toes. And that may look like a few different things. It may be here, it may be further. You may get the hands down to the ankles or even the toes, or even past the toes. That's certainly possible. But keep trying to lead with the chest instead of round the back. So extend long, walking the hands forward. Inhale to lengthen, same thing. Exhale to release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to release. Keep lengthening through the back. Then once you've found your limit, once you've found your edge, if you will, then you can generally slowly begin rounding the back, releasing the head just a little bit. And same here, 5 to 8 breaths. Inhale to extend, exhale to release. You can feel the openness through the hamstrings, through the back of the legs. Now from here, we want to balance this intensity. We want to balance it from the hamstrings through to the back. So if you're feeling this pose more in the hamstrings, then bend the knees slightly. That comes a little bit further into the back. If you're feeling it in the back and not in the hamstrings, then do exactly the opposite. Take the heels longer, straighten the backs of the knees, and then you feel it more in the hamstrings. Good. 5 to 8 breaths. Good. Once again, opening the back body, releasing. You're getting some energy there. Now we're going to lie all the way back down onto our mat and counterbalance that pose we just did into our bridge pose. So the toes point forward, knees squeeze together but not touching. We're going to work with the breath. Chin remains down to the chest. On the inhale, the hips begin to lift, the hands reach high and come behind you onto the mat. Exhale, come all the way back over, hips and hands reach down at the same time. Pressing into the heels of the feet. Once again, knees squeezing but not touching. Exhale. Try to remain breathing through the nose and breathe deep. That'll give you that stamina. That'll give you that strength. Oxygenate. Oxygenate, that might not be a word. Oxygenate, thank you. Oxygenate the blood. Get the blood pumping. Get it working. Fill it full of oxygen. Wake up those muscles, especially that core, especially that midsection. We'll just do 2 more here. Pressing down through the heels and the shoulders. Last one. Good. Come all the way back. That's a good release for the lower back. Warm that up. We're going to come over onto our left side and lie down onto our mat. Hands underneath our shoulders. Forehead down through center. Work into our cobra pose, which is peeling back the shoulders, lifting through the chest. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting tall. Exhale, release. Inhale, shoulder heads peel back, press the feet into your mat. Exhale, release. Inhale, pull the chest between the thumbs, reaching long. Exhale, release. We have 2 more. Inhale. Feel the lower back switch on, strengthen, and lengthen. Good. Press down into the hands. We'll come up through our tabletop. And we'll take the hands inside. Oh, no, we won't. We'll come into a squat. Hands down to the mat. We'll move to a frog pose. Now what we're doing is take the hands down to the mat. We'll stack the shoulders over the hips. And we may not get the heels all the way to the mat. That's okay. What we're going to do is continue to move with the breath. Hands down to the mat. Inhale. Extend high. Keep those toes pointing outwards, knees pointing in the same direction. Exhale, come all the way, sit back down. Inhale. Opening through the hamstrings, the hips, getting blood flow, getting oxygen to that area, getting energy to that area. Looking alive, feeling alive. We'll do 3 more. Inhale. Try and relax the neck. Leave the tension out of the shoulders. And last one. Good. Staying in our forward fold, just bring the ankles back under the knees, point the toes directly forward. And we're going to step back with the right foot into our low lunge. Toes and fingers aligned. A couple of different levels here. We can start off dropping to the knees, untucking the toes. That hip, right hip presses forward. Left hip presses back. And once again, create the cobra chest. Pull the shoulders back. Lead with the heart. Good. From here to up the ante, tuck the toe. Activate and lift that back knee. Now, still looking for a little bit more. You bring the hand through to the knee. And really activating through that hip flexor. In the right hip. You'll need your hip flexors. Word to the wise. Good. From here, if you're still looking for a little bit more, I'll show you a few different options. You can extend the left hand, keep the belly lifting off the front knee, or the right hand, but keep reaching with the crown of the head, or both hands, reaching long. And that'll switch you on, like flipping a switch. Good. Hands back down to the mat. I'm going to step the right foot forward beside the left. Keep the knees bent. Toes touch, heels slightly apart. Sweep the hands. We come through to our chair pose. Tailbone is long. Tuck the sitting bones under. reach with the hands. Heart reaches forward and extend. Good. Hands back down to mat. Step the left foot back. And find the variation that works for you. Find the pose that works for you. Either untuck the toe, press forward with the left hip, open through the flexor, open through the left hip flexor, open into the right groin, or tuck the toe, activate, lift that back knee. Nice straight line through the heel. Possibly hands onto knees, shoulders over hips. Once again, you can move through variations of taking the left hand down to your mat, extending the right. You create a straight line. Notice that straight line from the fingertips all the way through to the heel. You could roll a marble, roll a ball all the way down. And never veer off course. Good. Changing sides. And fire up through the core and lifting both. Reaching with the crown of the head. Keep that spine long. Reach. Good. Hands back down to mat. Step the left foot forward. Once again, toes touch, heels apart. Sweep the hands forward. Come back through our chair. Notice the big toes in front of the knees. Good. Sit all the way back into the heels. Chest lifts. And then pressing high. We come back through our mountain pose in our standing position. Well done. 7 poses. 7 poses to fire up your love life, fire up your sex life. Switch on through the core, switch on through the middle of your body. Get some blood, get some oxygen, get it going. You will thank me. Your partner will thank me. Actually, they'll thank you. Anyways, enjoy the poses. If you like the practice, hit the like button, hit the share, hit the comments. Let me know if it works. Try that practice. See if it works for you and your partner. Let me know. Not too much graphic detail. Thank you. Other than that, look after yourselves. Take care. Look after your partner. Be good. Till we see you again.